Good morning. Happy Wednesday, everybody. This is Yogalates. My name's Amanda. So for today's class, we're using a set of light weights, totally optional. You can use a water bottle, maybe some candles, whatever you have around you. Also, we'll be using a block. If you don't have a block, you're welcome to use a pillow, maybe a book of some sort, some kind of sturdy surface. Of course, everything is always optional. Modify as needed. This is your class. Go at your own flow. Let's go ahead and get started with our warm-up with a nice light step, landing soft on the balls of your feet. Big inhales, big exhales. Warming up your body here, warming up your breath. Arms sweep up overhead and down. From here, we're going to come into a nice hip opener over to a side lunge. Chin and chest stays lifted. Really getting that knee up and over super high. And let's do one more on each side. Once you get there, come on down to a low wide squat. Get a wide through your hips, toes turned out. Sink your hips down. Arms reach out by your side. Reach down, tapping the opposite inside ankle. Knees are tracking out over your toes, so you're drawing your knees apart from one another. Big inhales, big exhales. And coming back to center, arms forward in a windmill motion, chest is lifted, shoulders remain stacked over your hips. Go ahead and reverse that direction. Rounding through your pinky toes. And then slightly hinge forward at your waist. Give yourself a nice big hug and then squeeze your shoulder blades together as you lift the arms up towards the ceiling. Slow and controlled. Go ahead and come on down to a runner's lunge, left leg forward, pressing into that left knee, opening up your right hip on this side. And then straighten your left leg as you draw your hips back. Maybe point and flex your left toes. Maybe circle out your ankle. And go ahead and switch sides. Big step forward with your right foot, pressing into your right knee, opening up your left hip on this side. Chin and chest remains nice and lifted. Drawing your hips back as you straighten your front right leg. Maybe point and flex your toes. Maybe circle out your ankle. Go ahead and come on up to standing. Roll your shoulder blades back. Roll them forward. Shake out anything else that you may need. Make sure you have plenty of water. Option to grab your set of light weights if you would like now. From here, we're going to draw our feet wider than our hips. Toes are turned out. From here, we're going to go ahead and draw our elbows into our sides. Palms are facing forward. And then arms up overhead. Nice low squat. Slow and controlled. Warming up the body. The weights are always optional. Core is nice and engaged, nice flat back. So the entire time your shoulders remain stacked over your hips. Keeping it going, moving with control. Still going, still moving. Keeping it going just like this. You got it. Nice flat back, controlled movements. Core remains engaged, keeping a micro bend in your knees as you straighten them, coming up to a standing position. We're going to set one of the weights down in 2 and 1. Generally set one weight down if you use them. If not, just pretend. Sink your hips nice and low as you can. And we're going to draw a figure 8 around our ankles, maybe our calves, our knees, our thighs, getting as low as you can. Keeping your hips super low. Think about drawing opposite shoulder down to opposite knee. Keeping your knees tracking out over your toes so we're not coming into a knock-kneed position. Avoid drawing those knees together. Keep it going. Inhaling as you come up, exhaling as you draw the shoulder down. Keeping your hips low the entire time. You're just crunching and then switching sides. Keeping it going. We're going to grab that second weight if you're using them in 10. Still going. Grounding through the pinky side of your toes. Last 3, 2, and 1. Come on to standing, grab your second weight. If you're using it, shake it out. We're gonna come into the right side, grounding through the left foot. Come on to the right side, right leg extends out to the side. We're gonna have the palms facing up, arms out to a T. From here, we're gonna draw that right foot to a tree as you draw the elbows in and arms out to a T. So palms are facing up, slow and controlled. Right toes tap out. Right toes tap into the inside of your left leg. Maybe tap the inside of your left foot, maybe your left ankle, maybe your calf. Avoid putting any weight or pressure into your left kneecap. Slow and controlled, really drawing the shoulders back, keeping it going for 5. Last 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and bring both feet down. Arms are up towards the ceiling. Palms are facing in. From here, we're going to come into a chair pose with cactus arms. Feet can be hip width apart or closer together, grounding through the soles of your feet. Chin and chest remains lifted. Core is engaged, sinking your hips back, tucking your hips under as you come into a chair position. Imagine you're sitting in a chair directly behind you. Keeping it going, moving with intention, moving with your breath. Almost there. We have the left side next. Still going. Core engaged. Last 3, 2, and 1. Finish up where you're at. From here, palms are going to face forward, arms back out to a T. Now we have the left side. Grounding through your left leg, grounding through your right leg, extend your left leg out to the side, elbows in, palms are facing forward this time. Left toes tap the inside of your right leg, maybe your right foot, maybe coming to your right ankle, maybe your right calf. Avoid the knee. You can also draw it up to the right thigh. Core remains engaged, really grounding through the sole of your right foot. Palms remain forward, elbows in as you draw that left leg to a tree. Arms extend out to a T as you tap the left leg out to the side. Keeping it going. We're going to come back to that chair pose and add some calf work. And 3, last 2, and 1. Go ahead and come back to feet hip width apart or together. Draw the arms up towards the ceiling. Sink your hips nice and low. From here, we're going to draw the arms back as we come to our tippy toes. Arms forward as we come back to flat feet. So rolling forwards and backwards, coming higher on your tippy toes, as high as you can, getting those heels super high. Core remains engaged, hips are low. Arm swings up overhead, feet are flat. As your arms swing back, go ahead and draw those heels up towards the ceiling, coming high on your tippy toes, slow and controlled. Core remains engaged. Squeeze your thighs, squeeze your glutes. Keeping it going. We're going to grab that block and set down your weights. Still going, still moving, almost there. Controlled movements. Go ahead and set your weights down if you're using them. Grab that block. You can also use a chair for more support if you would like. We're going to come into Warrior 3. Right leg extends back, so your hips are facing downward. Extend your right leg back, rounding through your left leg. You can have a micro bend in that knee. Flex your right foot, left leg, right toes are nice and flexed. From here, just tap down and lift up. Core is engaged. You can also extend your arms back behind you. You can extend your arms forward. You can extend your arms out to the side or cactus your arms. Most important thing is that your hips are facing down. Your right leg is straight. Your right toes are flexed. You can also place your hands on the floor or a block for more support. Keeping it going. Single leg lift and lower, squeezing the base of that glute. From here, same position, working that right side. We have Shiva squats. So drawing that right knee to the outside of your left knee and then kicking back. Moving with control, grounding through the sole of your left foot. Right knee comes to the outside of your left knee and then kicking back. Slow and controlled. You can once again place your hands on the floor, on a block. You can have your hands at prayer. Whatever works for you this morning, doing what you can today. Slow it down if you need to. Almost there. You got this. Core is engaged. Take a moment, take a breath, keeping it going. We have a nice stretch coming up in 3. Last 2. Go ahead and draw that right foot down, feet are hip width apart. You can still remain hinged forward on that block or hands on the floor. You can also have your hands to your hips. We're going to raise the right heel, left foot flat, and then we're going to switch, alternating. Nice calf work here. Core remains engaged, so flat back, whether you have your hands to your hips. You can also place your hands on the floor or a block. Hands on the floor is a deeper bend, stretching that lower back. Alternating, heel raise, heels lower, core remains engaged. Don't worry, I didn't forget about the other side. We'll do that next. We're going to work into the left side once we're done with this nice, relaxing calf stretch with your hands on the floor, hands on a block, hands to your hips, hands at heart center. We're going to work that left leg in 2. Last one. Go ahead and draw your hands back to wherever position you like. Just going to show you the block form here. Grounding through your right foot. You can have a micro bend in that leg. We're going to extend that left leg up. Straight left leg. Flex the toes. Core is engaged. Hips stay facing down. So we're not opening up the hip. Avoid letting that left hip open up. Keeping it going. Imagine that your hips are headlights guiding you down along the way. Gaze remains a few feet in front of you. Left straight leg raise and lower. As you raise that leg, maybe get a little bit higher, squeezing the base of your left glute. Still going. We have those Shiva squats on the left side coming up next. Core remains engaged, whether you are on the block, your hands are on the floor, your hands are at prayer. All right, go ahead and draw that left knee to the outside of your right knee and then extend it straight back out. Nice deep bend in both knees as you draw that left knee to the outside of the right. Core remains engaged. Keeping it going here. You got it. We're almost there. We have a nice stretch coming up next. Left leg comes to the outside of your right knee and then extend straight back. Hands can be on the block. Hands can be on the floor. Hands can be at prayer. Whatever works for you. Keeping it going. Controlling your balance. Slow it down if you need to. Not going for speed on this one. Almost there. Last 3. All right, set that block down. Go ahead and come to the back area of your mat. We're going to come to standing mountain. From here, swan dive forward. We're going to walk our hands out to a high plank. Wrists are directly under your shoulders. Come down in your chaturanga, cobra or up dog. Press back up to down dog. And then walk your hands back. And then rolling up. Arms reach up overhead. Swan dive forward. Walk your hands out to a high plank. Wrists directly under your shoulders. Go ahead and come down. Elbows remain in. Cobra up dog. Go ahead and press up into down dog. Walk your hands back. One more time through. Arms reach up overhead. Swan dive forward. Walk your hands out. Chaturanga, up dog, back to down dog. All right, from here, go ahead and grab a sip of water and then come back to your high plank. From here, we're going to draw the left leg up, left knee, left elbow. So single leg down dog, single leg mountain climber. Just the left leg is moving. Core remains engaged. Keeping it going. Left leg lifts as you press your hips up. Left knee to left elbow as you draw your hips down back into that high plank. Keeping it going. Almost there. Just the left leg move. Left leg, single leg mountain climber to single leg down dog. Last one, go ahead and draw that left foot forward. From here, we're gonna come into a high crescent lunge, arms reach up overhead. We're gonna come into lunges. So right knee taps down and then straighten that right back knee. Keeping that bend in your front left leg. Core remains engaged. Keeping it going. Shoulders are lifted. You can have your arms overhead. You can cactus your arms. You can have your hands on your hips. Whatever works for you, whatever feels good in your body this morning. Slowing it down. Keeping it going. Core is engaged. Go ahead and hold it low. Tiny pulses here. Chest remains nice and lifted. Keeping it going. Little pulses. Even lower. All right, come back to high crescent. Open up to warrior two. So right toes face forward. Go ahead and grab those weights if you would like. Of course, they're always optional. You're going to have, go ahead and catch your breath. Right hand, go ahead and extend your arms out. Switch it. Left hand behind head, right arm out extends long. Left elbow to left knee, right arm extends nice and long. Keeping it going. Working those obliques. Core is engaged. Almost there. Still going. Still moving. As you draw those right fingertips up and past your right toes, elongate your body, stretching on both sides. Still going. Last one. Go ahead and extend your left arm back out to warrior two. From here, we're going to draw the right hand towards the left arm and then draw it back. Right hand taps and then draw it back. Keeping it going. Twisting more with your obliques. Maybe have a deeper bend in your front left knee. Grounding through the outside of your right pinky. Right elbow stays high and lifted. Trying to keep it shoulder height. Core remains engaged. Still going. Still moving. Working that core, opening up the chest. Almost there. Maybe sink a little bit deeper. And that left knee, really challenge yourself. Last 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and bring your left hand to your left knee. We're going to bring the right hand down to the inside of our left leg. Reach on up and then back down. So right arm reaches up, right arm reaches down. Keeping it going. Really opening up the chest on this one. You can have your left hand hovering, extending it nice and straight over your left knee. You can also keep it on your left knee if you'd like for a little bit more support. Still going, still moving. Almost there. We're going to come back to our warrior two and just a few more arm openers. Last two and one. Come on back to warrior two. Still having that bend in your left knee. We're going to straighten that front left knee and then come back down to a bend. Bending deeper each time. So straighten the legs as you draw the arms up overhead. Bend into that front left knee as your arms come out to a T. Slow and controlled. Core remains engaged. Bending deeper into your left knee. Keeping it going. You got this. Doing what you can. Arms down to a T as you come back to warrior two with that deep bend in your front left knee. Arms up overhead as you straighten that left leg. We're going to add some movement here. Last two. Go ahead and bring your arms up to a T. Straighten your left toes parallel. Turn your right toes out. Come back into warrior two. Come back up. Right toes parallel. Left toes face out. Back to warrior two. So now we're alternating. Go at your own pace. Slow it down as much as you need to. Nothing is going for speed. Listen to your body. Alternating warrior two, right and left, drawing the feet parallel to one another with arms up overhead in between. Keeping it going. Core is nice and engaged. Almost there. Last five. Still going, still moving. All right, let's grab a sip of water. And we have the right side. Keep those weights nearby if you want to use them. Go ahead and come back to your high plank position. From here, right leg lifts up, right knee to right elbow. Single leg down dog, single leg mountain climber. As you pike your hips up into that down dog, extend your right leg up to the ceiling. Toes are flexed. So you're pointing your toes down towards the floor, flexing your foot. As your hips come back down into a high plank, your right knee draws in towards your right elbow. Keeping it going. We have those lunges next. Almost there. Go ahead and draw your right foot in between your palms on your next single leg mountain climber. Arm sweep up overhead. Nice straight arms. Bend into that back left knee and then straighten. Core is nice and engaged. You can also cactus the arms if you would like. Doing what you can today. Slow it down as much as you need to. You got this. Maybe arms are cactus, arms up overhead. You can also sweep your arms back. Whatever feels good in your body today. Keeping it going, stay low, tiny little pulses here. And we're gonna grab those weights. Left knee closer to the floor, you got it. All right, go and open up to warrior two, keeping that deep bend in your front right knee, left leg is straight. Draw your right elbow wide behind your head, left arm extends long, right elbow taps right knee, and then left arm reaches. Moving with intention, moving with your breath. Right elbow, right knee, left arm extends long. So you're keeping that left arm straight the entire time. Keeping it going. Almost there. Grounding through the outside of your left pinky toe. Right knee stays wide, knee tracking out over your toes. Keeping it going. Go ahead and come back up to warrior two. We're going to draw the left hand towards the right fingertips and then draw the left elbow back. So left hand to right fingertips, left elbow wide and back. Core is engaged. Keeping that elbow lifted. Still going. Still moving. Right palm is facing down. Nice straight right arm. Keeping that left arm lifted, just bend and extend the left elbow. Working into that core, opening up your left shoulder, your left chest. Still going. We're going to place that right hand on your right knee next. Keeping it going. Go ahead and draw your right hand gently onto your right thigh. Draw your left hand down to the inside of your right leg. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling and then back down. Core remains engaged, keeping that deep bend in your front right leg. If you extended that right arm on the other side, feel free to extend and hover that right arm on this side. Keeping it going, moving with control, moving with intention, moving to your breath. Almost there. Last 5. You got this. All right, come back to our warrior two. Still keeping that deep bend in your front right leg. Straighten that right leg as you reach the arms overhead, and then come back into your deep bend. Bending deeper, arms straighter, elongating the body as you bend that knee and as you straighten the legs. Arms overhead with straight legs. Deep bend that right knee with your arms out to a T. Keeping it going. Moving with control. Deeper bend. Core is engaged. Shoulders relax. Avoid scrunching your shoulders up towards your ears. Relax your forehead. Still going. Still moving. Looking so strong. All right, go ahead and come on down. Grab a sip of water if you would like. We're going to be down on our mats for our next series. When you get there, come to a tabletop. You can keep one weight in your right hand, wrists are under your shoulders, knees are under your hips. We're going to extend our left leg back behind us, flex the foot, extend your right leg out in front. We're going to draw the right elbow into the left knee and then extend back. So drawing your right elbow deep into your core, trying to tap your left knee as you draw your left knee up. Maybe you tap, maybe you just come super close, doing what you can today. Arm and leg taps if you can, and then extend straight back behind you. Last 3, 2, and 1. Place your right hand down. Keep that left leg lifted. From here, flexing the foot still, keeping that left leg nice and straight. Just raise and lower. You don't have to have a large range of motion. You don't have to tap the floor. You also do not have to bring that leg up super high. Your hips are staying parallel. Your core is engaged, so avoid hammocking or arching your spine. You can also place your right hand palm up on your lower back to ensure that your back is remaining flat. Gaze is down between your thumb and index finger. Flex your left toes. Toes are pointed down. Heel is lifted. Straighter left leg. Core is engaged. Keeping it going. Almost there. Navel pulled into your spine, gaze is down, keeping it going. If you have your right hand, let's go and gently place it back down, releasing it underneath your right shoulder. We have rainbows. So right toes tap the outside of your left toes tap the outside of your right foot, and then up and over. The crisscross getting mixed up with my left and rights. We'll get there, I promise. Core remains engaged. Rainbow taps up and over. So you're tapping on either side of your right foot. Just your left leg is moving. Your toes are still flexed. Core is engaged. Gaze is down between your thumb and index finger. Relax your shoulders. Keeping it going. We're almost there. Keeping the left toes to the outside of your right foot. Look over your right shoulder for a nice deep stretch. All right, go ahead and release that. Come on down to your right side. Draw your knees into your chest. You can lay down like you're just laying at the beach, or prop your head up if you like. Draw your knees in that hip width. Bring your legs up. From here, extend your left arm up to the ceiling. We have clamshell raise and lowers with a tricep bend and extend. So you can have your feet raised for a deeper burn. You can also keep your legs down and just open and close your legs. If both of your feet are down, you can also lift your feet if you keep them parallel to your shins. Core is engaged. Whether you have those legs lifted or lowered, keeping it going, still moving, slow and controlled. All right, set that weight down. Come back to your tabletop. Wrists under your shoulders, knees around your hips, tuck your toes, and then lift your hips up so your shins are hovering. From here, gaze remains down between your thumb and index fingers. We're going to tap the opposite shoulder, alternating right hand to left shoulder, left hand to right shoulder. Keeping it going, core is engaged. Of course, you can always keep your knees down on the tabletop, or if you'd like to add more heat to the core, go ahead and hover those shins, drawing your knees an inch or two above the floor. Bear crawl or table tap, alternating opposite shoulder, opposite hands. Placing your hand down back underneath your shoulder. Still going. Still moving. Trying to avoid swiveling the hips. Go ahead and release your knees out if you have them lifted. Grab the weight in your left hand. Extend your right leg directly back behind you and extend your left hand out in front, straight limbs. Draw your right knee in, left elbow down, and then extend it back. Gaze remains down between your thumb and index finger of your right hand. Of course, at any time, you can always set your hand down, just working that right knee, still trying to drop, imagining that you're tapping your left elbow. If you have that arm rested down, maybe your left elbow and right knee tap. Keeping the right toes flexed, toes are facing down, heel is lifted. As you extend them in opposite directions, taking out any bend that you have, getting them straighter, getting them higher. Almost there. Core is engaged. Slowing it down, set the weight down. You can set your left hand down, right leg extends nice and straight, and we're just raising and lowering. Core is engaged. Draw your navel deep into your spine. Imagining that you're trying to zip the super skinny pair of jeans, and you're keeping your core nice and tight, flat back. So avoid hammocking your body by arching your spine, and avoid rounding your spine. You can also help yourself by placing your left hand, it's a little more core burn as well, placing your left hand palm facing up on your lower back. That way you can feel if you're arching your spine or you're rounding your spine. You'll be able to feel that curvature in your lower back. Keeping it going. We have those rainbow arches next. On the right side, right leg raised and lower, toes are flexed down, heels lifted. Place that left hand down if you had it lifted, keeping that right leg nice and high. We're going to tap the right leg out to the outside of your left foot, up and over to the far right side as far as you can. Core remains engaged. Slow it down. Listen to your breath, doing what you can, maybe tapping further on both sides. Avoid leaning into the left leg. You want to work the right inner and outer thigh and that outer hip on the right side. Keeping it going, still moving. Almost there. So close. Just a gentle right toes tap outside of your left foot, your left shin. And then right toes tap far right side as far as you can. Last 5. All right, Jilly, come on down to the left side of your body. Grabbing a weight, if you would like, in your right hand. You can lay all the way down like you're laying at the beach or prop your head up, whatever you prefer. Draw your knees to hip height. You can keep your feet down. Right elbow up towards the ceiling. Clamshell, raise and lower. You can also lift that leg. You can keep your feet lifted. So you're opening and closing your knees here. Core remains nice and engaged, working into that tricep. Maybe just extend your left arm long, placing your left ear on your left bicep. Whether your toes are lifted, your feet are flat, working that outer right hip on this side. Still going, still moving. Tricep work for bonus. All right, set that weight down. Grab your block, keep your block close by. Go ahead and lean back onto your forearms. Your forearms can have your palms facing down or palms facing up. Extend your legs long. Your legs are hovering, legs are straight out behind you, or in front of you rather. We're going to do a low V out to a single leg raise. So your core is engaged. Drawing your navel deep into your spine. Keeping it going. You can also have your arms slightly bent and leaning yourself back. You can work from a seated position, doing what you can. So on your palms or on your forearms, core is engaged, moving with control. Last 5. Slow it down, legs higher. All right, go ahead and roll on back. We're going to have the elbows wide behind the head, legs extend long in opposite direction. We're going to crunch our upper body up so your shoulders are hovering. We're going to hover that right leg. Then we're going to lift and lower that left leg, slow and controlled. So that right leg is hovering, keeping that lower core engaged. Your lower spine is pressed into the floor. If you feel any discomfort whatsoever in your lower spine or your lower back lifts up, just lower that right leg and only lower your left leg as far as you can. If it's just about 45 degrees, that's perfectly fine. Most important thing is that your core is engaged. Maybe relax your shoulders down a little bit further. When you get there, curl your shoulders up, hover that right leg. Keeping it going. Just the left leg raise and lowers. All right, relax your shoulders, draw your knees into your chest. We have the other side. Extend your legs long in opposite direction, elbows wide behind the head. If you can, crunch up, hold that crunch. Bring that left leg to a hover, right leg, straight leg, raise and lower. Slow and controlled. The slower, the better the burn. Keeping it going. Right toes are flexed, trying to keep that left leg hovering. Keep it straight. Of course, if your stomach arches up or if your lower back lifts up off the floor, just lower that left leg to the ground. You can still raise and lower your right leg. Maybe don't go as far, less range of motion. You can also relax your shoulders all the way into the floor versus holding that crunch. Still going, still moving. Right leg raises and lowers, whether you have that left leg hovering, shoulders hovering. Go ahead and relax your legs down, relax your shoulders down. Grab that block if you have one. You can also use a pillow. You can also use a weight if you would like. We have straight leg bicycles. So shoulders are hovering. We're going to pass that weight underneath that weight or that block underneath your legs. So straight leg bicycles, point the toes, passing the block under your right thigh, passing it between your hands, right to left, left to right. Shoulders are hovering, gaze is down towards your navel or your knees. Keeping it going. Strong point through your toes. Lower back is pressed into the floor. Almost there. Keeping it going. Maybe getting your legs straighter. Maybe getting them higher and lower. You got this. Keeping it going. Go ahead and relax your head down. Place the block gently between your thighs. Relax your head down. Palms by your side. Heels close into your glutes. Lift your hips up and then extend your right leg straight. So it's going to be at a diagonal. And then we have glute bridge, raise and lower. So we're going to tap down and then press up. Keeping that right leg straight. Keeping that block squeezed between your thighs. Core is engaged. Keeping that right hip just as high as the left. Gaze is up towards the ceiling, shoulders relaxed. Upper back stays pressed into the floor the entire time. Just raise and lower, pressing the entire sole of your left foot into the ground. Keeping it going. Almost there. Raise and lower. Go ahead and release that right leg down. Release the block. Move your legs from side to side. Don't worry, we have the other side. Place the block back between your thighs, keeping your heels in close. Lift your hips up and then extend your left leg straight. So it's at the diagonal. Maybe point or flex your left foot. Hips lower, hips lift. Core remains engaged. Maybe it's a tiny range of motion. You're keeping your shoulders pressed deep into the earth. We're not doing a full bridge or a wheel. So you're just moving your lower back. Just your hips tap and lift. Keeping it going. Moving with intention. Squeeze your glutes the entire time. Grounding through the sole of your right foot. Squeeze your thighs together. Keeping that block in place. So close. Keep it going. Go ahead and release down. Release your left toes down to the earth. Set that block off to the side. Draw your knees into your chest. Roll side to side for a nice lower back stretch. And then extend your left leg long, keeping your right knee close in towards your right shoulder, avoiding your rib cage. Maybe circle out your ankles. You're welcome to keep it here for an active stretch. You can curl your shoulders up, hover your left leg, still circling out your ankles, maybe point, flex your toes. Release your left leg, release your shoulders. With your left hand, grab the outside of your right knee, pull it across your body towards the left, gazing over your right shoulder, maybe cactusing that right arm. And on your next exhale, gently coming back to center. Draw both knees back into your chest. Roll from side to side. Nice lower back release. And come back to center. Extend your right leg long, keeping your left knee in towards your left shoulder, avoiding your left rib cage. Maybe circle, point, and flex your toes. For a more active stretch, curl your shoulders lifted, hover your right leg. You can still point and flex or circle out both of your ankles. Release your shoulders down, release your right foot if you have it lifted. With your right hand, grab the outside of your left knee, pull it across your body to the right side, gazing over your left shoulder, maybe cactusing or extending that left arm out to a T. And then come back through center. Draw the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling for happy baby. Knees extend out towards your shoulders, maybe rolling side to side. You can also extend the legs straight, bending one leg, keeping one straight, and then switching sides if you'd like. And then draw the knees back together, knees in towards your chest. Hug yourself into a tight ball and rock and roll yourselves a few times along your spine, as many times as you need before coming up to a seated position. Go ahead and come on up to standing. Feet are wider than your hips, toes slightly turned out. Draw your right arm across your body for a nice shoulder and chest stretch. Open and switch sides. Left arm across your body. Open, draw your right hand behind your head, keeping your chin lifted. Open and switch. Release everything down. Go ahead and clasp your hands behind your back. Chin and chest is lifted, drawing your thumbs down towards, thinking about grabbing them down towards your knees. Release everything down. Nice big inhale. One more for good luck. Awesome work, everyone. Thank you so much again for joining me again. This is Yogalates. My name's Amanda. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you hydrate, drink plenty of water. Thank you, everybody.